New developments in the storm of controversy swirling over the California company that wants to lease Hardin's new Two Rivers Detention Center. Montana Attorney General Steve Bullock has launched his own investigation into the American police force following news that the APF's lead figure is a convicted felon with a history of fraud. Bullock's office has issued a civil investigative demand ordering Hardin officials to produce all documents related to their dealings with the American police force and its representative, Michael Hilton. Specifically, Bullock wants to inspect the minutes of all board meetings of the Two Rivers Authority and all records of transactions with the APF. He also wants all documents Two Rivers has released to any agreement with the APF, including any drafts or proposed agreements. Plus, the AG wants detailed information from APF, including the names of entities or individuals it has served within the last 3 years. Bullock is also asking APF to identify each U.S. state where it has provided services and provide a list of any U.S. government agency that it has provided services for over the last 5 years. Bullock is asking for the documents under the Montana Unfair Trade Practices and Consumer Protection Act and the Nonprofit Corporations Act. Two Rivers and APF have until October 12th to produce the documents. Well, we did get a chance to speak with Captain Michael Hilton last night. He disputes some of the information coming out about his crimes, but he also acknowledges some of it. Hilton says he has not taken or asked for money from Two Rivers or the city of Hardin, and his company will pay Two Rivers $218,000 on February 2nd. Hilton declined to do a recorded phone interview, but he did respond to recent news stories about his criminal past. Captain Hilton says, "My past is my past. I made a mistake. I'm not proud of it." Well, the list of accusations and convictions involving APF official Michael Hilton is fueling suspicions about the company's plans for the empty Hardin Jail facility. Q2's Angela Douglas traveled to Hardin to gauge the community's reaction.
Two Rivers Detention Center. It's been a sore spot for Hardin since it was built in 2007, until this man came into the picture. Captain Michael Hilton with American Police Force seemed to be the saving grace for Hardin's $27 million empty jail. But Hilton's past hasn't been so graceful. His criminal record dates back to the late 80s when he was arrested for writing fraudulent checks, and since then it's been a long road, including 14 counts of grand theft, served 6 years in a California prison, and has had nearly 20 aliases. Information new to the public, but not new to the company's new spokeswoman.
There were no surprises. Michael disclosed this information to me before I agreed to come to work for him. We had reached a verbal agreement.
And Shay says she isn't worried at all when it comes to defending APF and Hilton of these findings.
I can withstand the scrutiny. We can withstand the scrutiny of working with that.
When asked if there were any concerns about the nature of his past convictions and the possible similarities they could have to the deal with Two Rivers Authority, Shay said she didn't agree with that perspective and had no concerns.
Specific to Hardin, specific to American Police Force, we're fine.
So we hit the streets of Hardin to find out what the community had to say about a convicted felon possibly running their jail.
Who knows who has a sordid background? I mean, I may have a sordid background, so I mean, we're the land of second opportunities.
Maybe that would give him a better insight into the detention center. I don't know.
But one woman traveled all the way from Columbus to get her voice heard.
I just feel that this has to be stopped, and the people of Hardin are being scammed. I mean, this man is a 14-time felon. That's like the insane running the asylum. You want a felon running a prison?
Even putting his checkered past aside, one big question is still unanswered. Who owns APF?
Part of the agreement that I came to when I took employment with APF was that information won't be disclosed.
Even a radio show out of Austin, Texas has taken interest in the story and came to Montana to stir the pot. But as long as Hilton keeps that information under wraps, the city of Hardin waits.
We're in the dark. I don't know.
It'd probably be better if they were more open with us.
All I know is we need something positive to happen to Hardin.
Hardin is hoping for the growth and prosperity APF promises, but with little fact and no signed contract, the mystery of the California-based company continues. In Hardin with photographer Paul Humphrey, I'm Angela Douglas for Montana's news station.
Thank you, Angela. Well, attorney for the Two Rivers Authority, Becky Convery, says board members were not aware of Hilton's criminal record. She says she found out about Hilton's past through news reports. And Two Rivers Authority is now using its website to try to dispel rumors swirling around the American Police Force's plans in Hardin. The TRA website yesterday included this statement on its homepage. We welcome anyone to visit our town. There are no commandos in the streets. There's no fence or gate being built around Hardin. People are free to come and go as they please. APF is not running our town or our police force. Meanwhile, a conservative Austin, Texas radio show hosted by Alex Jones, who was in Hardin yesterday, claims the American Police Force is actually a front group for Blackwater Incorporated. Jones claims the original APF website said that it runs the U.S. Training Center, which is publicly controlled by Blackwater, now known as Z. Jones says that proves the two companies are one and the same. When asked about the alleged connection, APF spokesperson Becky Shea said she could not comment on the parent company of APF. In other news today, after 30 years, downtown Billings restaurant George Henry's will close its doors.